Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mondays with Ira Bowman and my guest, my friend Greg. Good morning, good afternoon. It's good afternoon for you, right?
Good afternoon, pretty much.
I'm still in California where it is 11:02 a.m. on a Monday, the Monday after Easter. So happy Easter to you, Greg. Belated Easter. I hope you guys had a good holiday weekend.
And to you as well. Yeah, it was nice. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, so we actually had some rather California-like weather this week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, man. A little sunshine.
It happens. It happens. Like I always have this saying that there's 8 nice days in Wisconsin. Only 8, but they're spread out over the course of the year. So they're just enough to keep us here. Like, okay, maybe there's hope. And then, it's back to misery.
No, you know what I like to tell people in Wisconsin is if you really love cheese, all you need to do is come to California because we have cows and we have sunshine.
You guys are like I think you're the number 1 dairy state.
I think so.
Last I read about, dairy.
It surprises everybody because they think about, palm trees and surfboards. They don't think about the farmland, but there's actually more farmland here than anywhere else. It's not even close.
You got a big state.
We do, and I love most of it. Aside for the congestion and the smog, it's pretty good. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting. It throws people off. They're like, what do you mean they make cheese in California? I'm like, yes, we have cows. We have lots of cows. Anyways, we're not here to talk about cows. We're here to talk about marketing. For those of you who have never seen the show before, what is this? Marketing Mondays is a show that I host every Monday. I bring in guests like Greg, who are experts in the field. We talk about the different parts of marketing because marketing is a very wide topic. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of specialties within it. So I bring guests on. We talk about it. The idea is to help educate those who watch so that you can put forward better efforts on behalf of your business. And then, of course, also to introduce you to folks like Greg, who runs Winbound. We'll talk about Winbound at length in a minute. But, maybe you want to hire Greg. It's one of the things that I tell people. If I bring them on my show, they've got an automatic ring endorsement from me for whatever that's worth, right? So if you're looking for
No,
Yeah, if
thank
you're looking
you.
for people that you can trust, that's the idea. And I actually tagged in the post on LinkedIn earlier today some of the previous guests that have been on the show because I want people to know like these are the people that I've kind of like pre-vetted for you. And Greg and I had the opportunity to meet through Kurt Anderson, I believe.
Of
Who's,
course.
who's
Doesn't
a great,
everybody meet through
yeah,
Kurt
right.
Anderson?
He's a great guy. He's one of the best kept secrets on LinkedIn, even though he's telling people not to be the best kept secret
That's
in
right.
business. So, anyways, we got to give him a shout out too. But, anyways, let's get into this, Greg. So, the way we do it, for those of you who've never seen the show before, we pretty much break it up into 3 segments. I first introduce the guest, give you a little bit of a backstory about them so that you know how they got into marketing. And that's what we're going to relate everything to today, obviously, is marketing. The second thing we're going to do is do a deep dive into Winbound, into Greg's company, so you guys can understand what it is they do, how they might be able to help you if you need it. And then thirdly, we always take questions from the audience. So we have just a general question and answer session, and that happens throughout the show. So if you have a question right now, you could drop your comments in the or question in the comments, and we will address them. I try to do this as fairly as I can, so I just go first in, first out, right? So if you have a question for the show, get it in there, and then we will answer them. Greg, I always do it this way: guest first, and then sometimes I feel obliged to say something too. Sometimes I'm like, nope, that's exactly it, and we just move on. So,
well, I actually have a question for you, Ira.
Yeah, answer.
When's your birthday?
My birthday was in March.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I missed it.
That's okay. It's not a big deal. I try to get past that day every year without anybody knowing. Honestly, that's my objective.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because mine's today. So.
Oh, is it your birthday?
Hey!
Whoa! All right. Happy birthday to you. All right, I'm not going to torture everybody. We listen to the rest of that, but there you go. Happy birthday. So
my second question is, what do you think about this shirt?
Did you get it for your birthday?
I did.
Yeah, I just didn't want to offend anybody. Actually, I really like it. So I don't know if you looked at the colors of the show, but I really like red.
Oh yeah, well that's you're in the Badger State here, so.
Well, yeah. So my color scheme would go really well. It's funny is I'm a Raiders fan, so silver and black, which is why my logo is silver and black. But our hated rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're red and white, and so I've always been conflicted on the color red, but I love it. I can't help it. It is what it is.
It is. It's one of the it's like red and green are two of the colors that attract the most attention.
Well, and that's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
I love Christmas. Who doesn't?
People who don't celebrate Christmas? I don't know.
People who don't get good presents. So for me, it used to be about getting good presents. Now it's about giving the perfect presents. Like I always try to pick something that's like the perfect thing. You've got a happy birthday coming in. I knew this was going to happen. Happy birthday. Now, Michelle Gunn has been a guest on the show. She is in the marketing space, which is also one of my really good friends from SPN. Love Michelle.
Cool.
Happy Easter. Michelle, I know you and I exchanged that on some of the other social media stuff, but Easter, it's funny because I'm a professional photographer. So like I take photos. It's part of what I do. And I also serve at my church in ministry, obviously. Most of us do that. So Easter is like that day where my professional and my ministry world just collide so well. Like, so I was Easter photoed out yesterday.
Oh, okay. Nice.
All right. And so I don't know how to say this. Don't want to butcher the name, but he says, thanks for coming online. My pleasure. Thanks for being here with us. I don't know who this is. This saying LinkedIn user. Let's see if I can say who that is. Oh, that's AJ. AJ is my friend. AJ is a technical recruiter from India. Hey, he's the one who taught me how to say Pune. I was saying Poon. I was saying it wrong. So he helped me out there. From Pakistan, welcome to the show. Some of these names, I don't even want to try it. South Africa. What time is it there right now? Is it 6 at night? I'm always trying to make sure if I got the time there. Let's see. We got from Idaho, Virginia Clay. Welcome. That's just one time zone after me, so that's good. And let's see, Michelle, we know is from Houston, Texas. And we've got Matthews from South Africa. So as you can see, There's people watching us from
South,
all over the place.
South Africa, stand up. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and I get a lot from India, from South Africa, and also the UAE. So over in Dubai and the surrounding areas over there.
Wow.
Get a lot of people from those places. So we got another one. I think this is AJ saying happy birthday to you.
Hey, AJ.
AJ, if you want to fix that, what you do is you just go into your profile setting on LinkedIn and you change it so it allows to share with third parties. And then your profile photo and your name will come up. That's all you got to do there. From India, welcome. And from Uruguay. So there's South America stepping into the building. Look, we've got almost. I haven't seen anybody actually from Europe. Although it's nighttime there right now. I think it's 8 o'clock at night. So maybe they're busy with their dinner and stuff. Anyways, all right, Greg, let's do this. Let's get started.
Okay.
As I like to say, enough about me and more about you, because you're the guest. Can you, in like 2 to 3 minutes, you can go over a little bit if you want. Just tell us how you maybe about your education, how you got started in the marketing space. You don't have to go into the Winbound because we're going to do that next. Okay. But maybe if you want to go from like how you got started to the launch of Winbound, sure. That would be a nice segment. And sure. Pardon me for a second because I'm going to zoom in my camera. It's going to be really unprofessional, but I feel like I'm like way away from you, and I want to scoot up.
Do you want me to zoom out? Because a lot of times people ask me to zoom out.
No, you can.
Can you zoom way out, Mischio? Like way out?
I try not to break my equipment. That's why I like to be zoomed out. But I'm going to match you, so you stay there and you tell us about yourself while I zoom in.
Sure. So my background is I'm a journalism major, and I have been a copywriter. Started out working in ad agencies as a creative copywriter. So back in the day when it was all about print ads and direct mail and magazine ads and brochures, that's what I spent my time on. This is pre-internet. And so I transitioned into content marketing as it really started to emerge in the field. And then started to work with a number of small marketing departments in that respect. And then I said, hey, this is a big need. I like working with these people. I have a lot of writers who are looking for work. I know there's a lot of small marketing departments that need content. Why don't I create my own agency? Because I like working with writers and I like working with small marketing teams. And that's how Winbound came to be.
So journalism at
University of Wisconsin-Madison. That's right.
Man, so you are a complete homer.
I am a homer.
All right. Okay, so have you ever had cornbread in buttermilk?
I've had cornbread. And
cornbread, obviously. Anybody who hasn't had cornbread is missing out on life. But we were having this conversation the other day about Midwest goodies, and that was one of them. I'm like, that's a Midwest thing.
Yeah, really cornbread. I'm thinking that's more like a New Orleans thing.
No, but cornbread in buttermilk specifically.
Oh, in buttermilk? No, I don't. I actually don't really. I don't really drink milk.
All right, well, I just thought because of all the cows there, you might have tried it. No.
Yeah, no. Of course I have a farm because everybody does, and I have a herd of cattle. No, I don't have any of that.
No, yeah, I don't either. I don't know surfboard. I know. I followed off. Yeah. All right.
I do drink beer. I do that.
Yeah, I think you guys are that's one of the things that if you're not from that area, you don't know, but that's one of the things that you guys specialize in, yeah? It's not just cheese.
We have some beer around here. Yeah.
Yeah, California beer is not.
You guys got everything.
I don't want to start fights with people, but I'm just saying it's not the thing. It's not the thing that I would say it's like way down on the list.
I'll give it a try.
All right. So if you guys have not already connected with Greg, I'm going to do a couple things. I do a couple things. I share a lot of screens. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pull up Greg's. I should have shared all this stuff already. Sorry. Okay, so this is Greg's profile here on LinkedIn. And I would encourage you it probably doesn't say message because you're not connected with him, but send him a message. But my disclaimer before I post his link on LinkedIn in the comments is this: you have to let him know you saw him on the show, and you have to promise you're not going to spam him as soon as he hits the accept button, right? That's the 2 rules of engagement here. So, right, like, get to know Greg and then have a conversation with him. Don't just try and sell him something, right? That's not the idea. And I think that my audience, because they hear this every week, I think they understand and appreciate that. So please do. Thanks. Oh, I'm missing something here. Did you ask a question, Ebenezer? Because you're saying please do and then thanks, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to share it right now, and that might be what he was asking about. Okay. So here we go. This is Greg. I'm going to put this on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And so here's the link for everybody. Okay. So go ahead and connect with him. But again, send him a connection request message with it saying you saw him on Marketing Mondays with Ira. And then you don't have to say you're not going to spam him. Just don't spam him. That's the more important part of that part, right? So you let him know where you saw, and then he knows that implies you're not going to like try and spam him. Okay.
Well, you know what I do to spammers or telemarketers? I reverse sell.
Yeah,
so if I get a call from a telemarketer and they're trying to sell me something, I immediately sell them on Winbound services.
There you go.
It's amazing. I've gotten so many clients that way.
You know what I actually do? And it started out facetious, but it's actually a serious thing. I offer them sales coaching at irabowman.com. I'm like, obviously, you need some help with how to sell better, because if you have a good product and you want to sell it, and you don't know what you're doing, you're just wasting your time, and you're burning bridges. Let me teach you a better way. Now, it's not free; you're gonna have to pay for it. But if you're willing to invest in your future, I can help you out. And that usually gets them off the phone pretty fast. But every once in a while, I do get somebody who says, "You know what? Let me take you up on that." And they go, "What's your experience with that, Ira?" I'm like, "Well, for 20 plus years, I did business to business outside sales. I was a sales manager. I was an individual contributor. I was a director of sales."
So this is a tactic you have used.
I'm not even kidding. Like I said, I started out facetiously because I just figured people would
right
turn and run. But
that's hilarious. That's great.
Yeah, because it's not the right way to sell.
Right.
It's the way to burn bridges. Like I said, if you do that, let's just talk about it in general. I'm not trying to coach you on LinkedIn or any one thing. I'm just going to talk about it in general. If you send a spam message to folks or you cold call them, spam them, how many people do you think appreciate that? Right? Very, very few. Now, there might be some, so you might make a few sales. But the rest of the people that don't, the majority that don't appreciate it, guess what that's going to do for them? That's going to say, okay, let me eliminate that person from my world. So you're burning more bridges than you're making connections. Even though you might get a few sales out of it, you're costing yourself more potential future sales if you just do it in a better way. Well, and I actually have a feeling that we're going to get into that with Winbound here in a second.
I was going to say, what does that big headline say to you up there?
Right. What does it say? Get prospects to know you, like you, and trust you with our content marketing approach. That is why you're on the show. 100%.
Right. Because if somebody cold calls you or spams you, they're going right to the trust stage. They think
they're going past it. It's like asking somebody to go straight to home base before you give them a smooch. It's not a good tactic.
Right.
All right. So let's get into this. This is okay. We've got this. You've told us how you got into Winbound. Now let's start to talk about Winbound itself. So this can be, let's say 5 to 10 minutes if you want, but we can do a deep dive. I have the website open, and I also have the Winbound page. So I'm going to be sharing these two in the comments where you're talking. But if you want to start talking about Winbound, and this is what I want everybody to do. So I want you to take this link right here. Again, I'm putting this in the comments for YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I want you to click on that link, which will take you to this page. And I want you to smash this button. That means press it, right? Hit that follow. So he's at 180. Now he's at 181. Let's see if we can get him over 200 by the time the show is over. I think we should be able to do that pretty easy, okay? So hit that button for me. Follow Winbound. And then what I want you to do is I want you to come over here. You could actually just hit, you could hit like this one and then hit visit website if you want. But I did that already for you. So I'm going to make it even easier. And I'm going to put this link in the comments too. Look at this, Greg.
Man.
Giant commercial.
Wow.
Okay. So what is Winbound? What makes it unique? What do you offer? How do you help?
Well, Winbound is a content marketing agency, and you probably saw on my profile and on the company page, we say sales start with great content. We create content to help people get to know you, like you, and trust you. It really mirrors the sales approach that has been used by salespeople for generations, really. I mean, people will not do business with you unless they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So you went to our digital twin page on our website, and that's a great page to put in the link as well. That's our complete digital twin marketing strategy. And the whole idea behind the digital twin is that, especially in B2B marketing and especially in manufacturing marketing, where we focus, there tends to be, these organizations tend to be very sales driven because their products are complex. They have a lot of buyers who come from various different backgrounds. The CEO, they've got the CEO, they've got the purchasing agent, they have the operations person. So there's a lot of people they're trying to, reach out to. And so these organizations, B2B organizations, been primarily sales driven. But the big problem is 70% of the prospecting takes place online now. So you can't have your salespeople, at some point they're going to interact, hopefully, with the customers. But when they're not there, you need to be there. So we've created this idea of a digital twin. And a digital twin in manufacturing is a digital recreation of a machine or a process. And the whole idea behind it is that you can test things, you can prototype things from your manufacturing approach and your manufacturing floor. Well, what we did is we took this analogy that take that digital twin and make a digital twin of your sales team. And so when people go and search online with your content, make a digital twin of your sales team with your content, they find your content and then they go through the sales process using your content. And so we set that content up to follow the know you, like you, trust you stages of the customer journey. So that digital twin link that you just had there really goes through the whole strategy and the whole approach that we take.
No, it's great. And I'm nodding my head because as a professional sales person, right, who did this for a long time, I can 100% echo what it is that you're saying. I think that too many people are stuck in the past where it was like, well, I've done these cold calls forever and this has always worked. I'm going to keep doing it. And it's like, okay, I understand. I think I cold called as much as anybody in the print business for 20 years. But the fact is, a paradigm shift happened. And now, I mean, we saw it even back in the 2000s where people were starting to get educated before. It used to be they would go, okay, I need a new printer. I'm just going to relate it to my world, right? I need a new printer. Okay, well, I'm going to reach out to a couple of the sales reps from the different major brands. And basically, I'm going to let them educate me on what's available and find out about my company and then make a recommendation on what they think we need. And we'll go with the one that we like best. That's the way it worked for a while in the 90s and the 2000s. But in late 2000s, 2010 on, we saw a huge shift in the buyer mindset where now they were starting to call out the specs and go, I already know what I want. I just want a quote. And we didn't like it, but that is the way it was. So I saw this back in 2018 is when I started to make the shift in the sales world, not the marketing world, because I was still a sales rep back then. So I said, okay, What I need to do is I need to build my social media presence so that people can know me, like me, trust me. Have you read that somewhere before? I don't know, people. Let's look and see if we've seen this somewhere before. Know you, like you, trust you. It's like I wrote it for you, but I didn't. You wrote it. But I 100% agree with it, because when people ask me, Ira, why are you spending so much time building your social media? Because I know that my target audience is online. And not only are they online, they're on social media. And I want them to know me and like me and trust me before they ever need the product or service that I am offering. Why? Because at that time, I want it to be a no-brainer for them to come to me. I don't want to have to send them a spam or a cold call. I just want to be, hey, I know you do this for a living and I need it. Can we have a conversation? That's really the most effective way. Like when I say don't spam Greg, what I mean is if you get to know Greg as a human being, then he's going to get to know you as a human being too. You're both going to build this friendship based on who you actually are and what you actually do. And then when someone needs it, it becomes a natural thing. Like, hey, let me learn more about what you do, Greg, because that's what Apple does. Let me learn more about this digital twin process, because I had never heard that expression before. But
I agree totally. I mean, think about our interactions, Ira. You and I met a few times. We were at a couple networking rooms, and then we, I don't know, then we got established some one-on-one calls, learned a little bit about each other and what we do, and now we're starting to see there's some referral possibilities already beginning. So yeah, I mean, when Ira says don't spam me, it's like, please contact me. Please tell me what you do so I can learn about you. And then perhaps those relationships will develop.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we can't have conversations. That just means I don't want to read your sales pitch, right? Don't see me as a potential customer. It's okay if I am one. In fact, I try to use, this is going to shock a lot of people, but I try to use people in my network for everything I do.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I have to pay a little bit more. I would rather buy from my friends, but here's the key to that. You have to be my friend, right? So how do you do that? This is what I recommend people do. Be present and engage all across social media. Like if you put up a post and I see it, I'm going to try to leave a comment, even if it's not something that touches me directly, because I just want to let you know that I support you. That's how this social media thing works. It's like instead of what can you get, look at ways that you can give. Especially, I mean, what does a comment cost me? Like 10 seconds of my time? I mean, really, it doesn't cost anything, but it helps people keep me top of mind, and it lets them know that I'm not just selfish. I mean, that a lot of that is all that it really is. It's just establishing that you're a win-win. That's what I call it, win-win. Yeah. So you're a win-win person.
We talk about the Go Giver all the time, which is a great book by Bob Berg, written about a salesperson who is trying to jam sales down people's throats, and he's cold calling and nothing works. And finally he realizes he gets a mentor who says, you got to help people.
Yeah.
You got to pay it forward. And he starts to do that. And lo and behold, all of a sudden his sales start to skyrocket. I mean, that's our whole point with what we do with our content marketing is pay your expertise forward, get that insight out there and help people with it. And on LinkedIn, with what you do, Ira, you're helping people out. I mean, this show's helping me out. Thank you very much. And
it's my pleasure. That's the goal, right? So I wouldn't get people to come on my show if it didn't help them. So, I build up the audience and try to make sure that they get good exposure. And
hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So while Greg's dealing with whatever went boom, something went crash if you didn't hear it. He was talking about that you got to be a go-giver. My hero in sales is Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar said, if you want to get what you want, just help enough people get what they want. I've read that over and over and over in my life. I think I have every book that Zig Ziglar put out. And so I love reading his work. In any case, that mentality is something a lot of people, it hasn't connected for them. When it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, they're so focused on what they do. And our friend Allison DeFord calls it the wee wees,
Oh, yeah.
right? So I've been borrowing her wee wee phrase. It's kind of fun to say, is why. But it's not about you. You got to sit in the other person's chair. And this is what Greg is doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what a lot of smart people are doing. We're not trying to tell you how awesome we are. We're trying to tell you to think about your customer. What problems do you solve? Learn the demographic of the people that you help, and then craft messages that resonate to them. But certainly, if they don't know you, if they don't like you, and if they don't trust you, it doesn't even matter what you say because they don't care. You've heard that adage, right? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. This is all tied together. So, anyways, Greg, let's do this. Let's get into Winbound a little bit more detailed. I can pull up the website if you want. Just tell me where to go. But who is it? Let's do this. I always like to do a little bit of demographics for folks because I have as you know, a wide array of people watching. So like for me at Bowman Digital Media, we typically work best with really small companies, solopreneurs, startups, people that have like 10 or less employees. That's really our wheelhouse. And we work mostly in the service industry, so we're service-based companies. I think that you work primarily in the manufacturing space, if I remember right. But just tell us about the company, like the profile of the perfect customer for you, or the ones that you help the most, and that way we can try and send people appropriately to you if we can.
Right. I think the best summation of the clients that we work with are small marketing departments. So 2 to 5 person teams, or even 1 to 5 person teams. We usually, for someone who is a solopreneur, I'd say, that's probably more in your wheelhouse, Ira. We're a little bit more with a team who's got a more robust, they've got a little bit bigger marketing budget and are doing a lot of different things. And they need that content marketing element that integrates SEO, that integrates, just basic search, social. They need a social strategy, and then they need it to work with their sales team. So, and maybe they're a little weak on the analytics to understand how it all works and just content marketing in general.
I think most people are weak on the analytics, honestly, but that's just coming from my perspective.
Yeah,
let's do this. We have a wide array of folks in the room who watch this show.
Okay.
They don't actually understand what you mean when you say the content and the SEO and the analytics. So let's just, if you don't mind, we're going to do a little bit remedial for those of us that are in the marketing space, but for those who aren't, and a lot of people watch the show are not in marketing at all. They don't understand this. So what Greg is talking about, right, is if you have a marketing team that's, just a few people, none of us can be experts at everything. For example, my expertise is in the graphics components. I capture and create graphics. That's what I do. I do it with my camera. I do it with Photoshop. I do it with Illustrator. I do it with Adobe Premiere. I do it, I make these pictures. But I'm kind of like a Swiss Army knife for a small company who doesn't have any idea what to do for marketing. Like I get you launched and get you building. But as your company grows, you outgrow Bowman Digital Media relatively quickly. What Greg does is Greg's team comes in and says, okay, you guys have a handle on your marketing, but you're devoid or you have deficits here. Let our team fill those voids in so you don't have to hire another person. Have I got that right? I think I did.
Yeah, I think the people and the teams you're talking about are kind of like you. I mean, they're good. They might have one talent like yours is in graphics and video, and they might have one real specific talent there, but you're also good, SEO, you're good at a lot of different areas, but you can't get to all those. So the smaller marketing teams might focus on what they're really awesome at, and then they rely on us for create the actual written content. That's what we focus on, to do the SEO and the keyword research, to do the paid campaign and understand the strategy behind that, and then put together the analytics that brings it all together.
Well, and it's also less expensive than hiring another full-time person,
Yeah,
right? I think people forget that sometimes. Like, why outsource to Winbound? Well, if you've got one or two people, or maybe three or four people, and you're like, you know what, we really need somebody who's really good at the SEO, just because you talked about SEO and the analytics. It's like, okay, you could hire another person, but maybe you don't have full-time work, or you don't want to spend, $60,000. I'm just going to throw out a number, right? Plus the benefits on top of it. Well, you could hire, forgive me if I'm wrong, but you could hire Winbound to do your SEO work for you, probably for less than $60,000 a year, right? It might not be, $60. It's not going to be $60. I mean, you're going to spend some money, obviously, but
well,
you get the benefit of a team. You don't have to worry about, the overhead, all the insurance and all that stuff, all the other stuff that goes with it. And they could do more than that, right? You guys write content.
Well, that's the thing is we actually analyzed all the services that we offer as the bundle. And we figured out if you hired a person for each one of those tasks, and it would be $31,000 a month. So, I mean, that's trying to build your own team. So
$31,000 a month. Yeah. So let's say we're paying someone $5,000 to $7,000 per month. There's 4 or 5 people right there that you don't have to pay, and they don't need an annual raise, and they don't get sick, and they don't need all that stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But, I mean, that's the whole. I mean, that's how in a lot of these small manufacturing teams, that's how you can scale. Bring in somebody who does that strategically, and then bring in somebody over here who does maybe video. Maybe you need somebody like Allison DeFord to come in and help with your brand, and then you as a small team have the marketing generalist who's running the whole team. There you go.
100%. No, it's 100%. And I tell people, like, look, let's just take this one step further. This analogy, the Swiss Army knife. Like, if you have a Swiss Army knife, it's cool because you can do a lot of things with it. But let's face it, when you need to do like one thing really, really well, that's probably not the tool you want to grab. You want to grab the tool that was designed for that. And then as you get bigger, you might have more a toolbox that you carry with different tools in the toolbox. You don't have to just have that one, So anyways, manufacturing.
I was going to say, you can use the whole Swiss Army knife at once.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can have multiple places. That is the one thing. Now, my team right now is 4 folks. It's not just me. I do have 4 folks, but I'm the main creative person. I have people in the background doing some other stuff for me, but I'm the main creative, and I kind of like where we are because I relate so well. Both my parents were entrepreneur minded. So my mom ran a tack and saddle shop when I was a kid, and my dad ran a landscaping company when I was a kid. So I kind of grew up with the small business owner mentality, and I saw the struggles. I've always related so well to them. So it's funny that now I am a small business owner myself, because it was not something I set out to do. I launched my business as a result of COVID. I decided I was tired of trying to find a job. I just created my own. Oh. But for you, when did Winbound start? Let's talk about some of the stats of Winbound here.
Yeah, I think I went freelance as a copywriter back in 2007, right before the Great Recession. Always smart to go and launch your business right before a major recession. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I felt really smart doing that in COVID too, but it's worked out.
Well, and this is a lesson you've learned, Ira, is you learn where your value is very fast and what you need to do to provide that value. Yep. And so, after I had launched and had some clients, that's when content marketing started to come on the scene. Websites were getting more mature, and people were realizing they're not just a brochure piece. They're not just a bunch of pages. We can actually do things with this. We can integrate it with search engines to bring traffic to the site. We can integrate it with social media to drive visits to the site. We can run paid ads to send people to the site. So once that happened, content marketing really started to explode, and people said, we need content. And then that's when I made that transition.
Well, I love content marketing because there's some substance there. It's not just look at me and my pretty face or my white glasses or whatever. Like it's not just a shtick, you know what I mean? Or it's not just speeds and feeds. It's like something there's meat there. And I'll tell you what I love about content marketing the most. It's a reason for people to come back. Like once you go to Winbound or you go to Bowman Digital Media or Project Help You Grow or whatever website you're going to go to, and you consume what's there, and you come back another time and nothing's changed, it's all the same. Like, okay, I guess there's no reason for me to ever come back.
Right.
But if you have a good blog, if you're doing case studies, if you're putting up video and content, whatever it is you're doing, a newsletter, I guess, is kind of the old school mentality there, because that was, it was press releases and and newsletters. That was the old social media marketing updates, right? But whatever it is, you've got to have something new, right? And you've already hit on it with the word SEO, which just means search engine optimization, for those of you who aren't aware with that. But what does that really do? Well, let's say you don't know Winbound exists, but you want somebody to help you with your marketing. You go to Google or wherever you're going to go and you type in marketing in Wisconsin or marketing in manufacturing. What Greg really wants is for his business to show up first. That's what he wants, right? So how does he do it? Well, one of the ways that we do this thing is we write blogs, we create content with these keywords, marketing, Wisconsin, manufacturing, in the actual content. We post it on our site, and then when Google comes in and does the indexing, that helps us rank higher. Now, also, our domain authority plays a part in that. How many people follow your business page on LinkedIn actually plays a part in that. That's why I encouraged you guys to follow Winbound Marketing and give Greg a boost. I just want to see where we're at. I know we've had a couple. We're going to do some real-time updates here, guys. I want us to get to at least 200. By the time the show is over, we're at 183. This is where I go, wah, wah, wah. Come on, guys. We can do better than 3, right? Let's go. This is the page right here. It's called Winbound Marketing. Actually, it's just called Winbound. But it's on LinkedIn. I just put the link. I put the link for James. It said, hey, I didn't get the link for Greg. Can you repost it? And then he says, got it. Thank you for confirming. But now what I want you guys to do is I want you to hit this one, okay? Hit this one and hit the follow button. Do me that favor. Let's get him to 200 before the show's over. All right, and we got a question from James. Is it true that SEO takes over 6 months to start working?
So that's a great question. That's like the number one question we get asked is, how long is this going to take? And we're actually like putting together a chart. It really depends where you are right now.
Yeah.
So if you are new to marketing in general, your website's brand new, you have a 0 domain authority, nobody knows who you are, you have no followers, it's going to probably take well over a year, potentially. Depends on what industry you're in, if it's competitive or not.
Yeah.
But it could take, and how much content you create to get rank, it could take up to a year for you to start getting some traction. If you, like, we just got a new client who has like a 38 domain authority, so they're further up, they've got an older site, they just haven't done content marketing very well or at all, they're going to see results much faster. So it really is where you are on that spectrum. But a lot of with marketing, and especially with ranking, there is definitely some ways to get you ranked faster. But again, it really just depends on what those keywords, those buying keywords are that you're trying to rank for. So let me give you an example. We are in a pretty competitive field for the manufacturing marketing agency keyword, and we're not there yet. We are rising very quickly, but some of our keywords on our blogs are getting ranked, like content scorecard and things like that. Once those blog keywords start to get ranked and people see that there's valuable content, like Ira might write a post about it and say, yeah, I was, was looking at different scorecards on the internet, and I saw a great content scorecard by Winbound, and here's a link to it. Once we get those inbound links to our blog posts and our informative content, that's when our money pages start to rank. So that's when we start to rank for that. So that's why, James, this can take a little while to get that content created and then get it out there and then make people aware of it. We like to say it's content marketing. It's content plus it's the marketing, it's the distribution, it's getting the word out, it's using paid, it's making a great network referral source like Ira and Kurt and Allison and a lot of the people who are in this little manufacturing niche that we've all built, and we exchange content and help each other promote it. Yep. And that stuff all takes time. So it really, I don't mean to dance around it. I can't give you the direct number, but that's
no. I think you've done a fantastic job of explaining. Let me pop in here and help you a little bit too. So the best way to think about SEO is it's not a singular event. You have to understand that SEO is going to be around as long as your website's around. So for those, sometimes people will call me and they go, how much to boost my SEO? Like, they just want to pay me one-time fee to boost their SEO. And I'm like, that's a mistake. Anybody who takes that opportunity is doing you a disservice. Okay. This is something that you have to continually work on. Now, there might be times where you put more effort into it and say, you know what, I just want to ramp this thing up a little bit. And then I'm going to have a budget that's lower. That's totally fine. And there are ways you could do it. For example, press releases are a great way to, like a shot in the arm. It's like adrenaline. It won't last forever, but it's a nice way to get into a little surge. And, I actually do press releases at Bowman Digital Media just for that reason, but it isn't a cure-all. Greg touched on this, where you are, what you do, what your competitors do. For example, if you're in a niche market, you might have to do as much to boost your SEO to get to that number one spot as somebody who's in marketing is completely saturated. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who are doing something in the marketing space. So if I want to come into digital, be the number one result for digital media in Google, that's going to take a long time and it's going to take a lot of money, right? So if you're asking how much does it cost to do the SEO, that's another question. But think about it this way. If you go on to Google and you search a term, any term, and you get like 100 results, to get to the top of that 100 is probably going to take less time and less resources than if you go and you put something in and there's 10 or 17 or 117 million results. You understand? So the size of the pond makes a difference. But writing all the content, the videos, the posts, the backlinks, there's so many different ways to boost your SEO. It's going to at least take 30 days, no matter what. Why? Because the way the DAs are ranked, the way this all happens once a month. Every site gets indexed, is what they call it. It gets indexed once a month. So if you say, well, I want to be at the top of Google and I want to be there in the next 5 days, that's not possible. And anybody who tells you it is fooling you or trying to fool you, right? That's a snake oil salesman. So don't buy the snake oil, right? But know this, what you need is you need content that talks about what you want to be discovered for. And you also need backlinks on other sites that point to your website, because that's where the domain authority comes from. The domain authority comes from other websites saying you're the authority on this particular topic. So hopefully that helps, right? If you have any SEO, like if you're starting at zero, what Greg said, you have a website that just launched, you have no followers, you have zero, you can start and make an immediate impact in the first 30 days, but you're not going to necessarily see it for 30 days, right? And 6 months to start working, I would say there's nothing magical about 6 months. There is something magical about having your website be live for 1 year. You get a little boost. So there is like a little bit of a accelerant that happens at the 1 year point for your websites. Why? Because most websites fail in the first year. So they give you, at least they used to, a little credit for lasting a year. But anyways, hopefully we have I don't think we've danced around this at all. I think we've addressed it head on. Now, if you have a specific question you want to talk to us about, you can reach out to Greg or me and we can tell you about your specifics. But I think we've addressed it pretty good. I get this question every day, Greg, about SEO. People don't understand it. It confuses them. And then when they hear they're going to have to spend lots and lots of money, not just one time, but forever, they go, oh, why? Well, you want to be found. Don't, to Kurt's point, don't be the best kept secret in business. You want people to know who you are. SEO is vital.
Well, and I think too, Ira, what you were talking about, the ongoing content creation that you need to continue to rank. Think about it this way. You need to always be sending out new messages to clients and staying in front of them. And it's not just SEO. I mean, you brought up the point of guest posts. That's what we love to do, is get content out there and a guest post in a niche, in an industry publication that talks and shares your expertise. I mean, it's old school PR is what it is.
It really is. And it should, it's funny to me that it isn't more common sense, but it really should be common sense to folks. Like, look, if you service, let's say you service farmers. We talked about farmers earlier, right? Your company's not farming, but you could service farms with the marketing, right? Big farmers want to sell the milk and the cheese and the beer and everything else, right? So what do? You go find the trade associations that they're a part of, and then you say, hey, I service your industry. Would you, if I write you 1,000 words that appeal to everyone in this industry, would you be willing to share it, publish it on your website? I guarantee you're not going to get a lot of no's, because everybody's starving for content that's interesting to their audience. Exactly. So there's a way for you to get that free backlink, and the splash zone is 100% the people that are interested in what you're talking about. So even if it's, a domain authority of, let's say 20, which is not very big, right? But everybody that visits that website are potential customers for you. That's a high impact splash.
Another thing we do with that is not only to get a piece of content out in a niche publication, but be a good steward of the industry. So we do profiles of people in manufacturing that get picked up by trade publications. It's not about us. It's about someone that we're highlighting and showing what they do. And we're just promoting the industry and trying to make it better. Well, geez, that's great. We share that on LinkedIn. People love it. And then people will comment and they'll leave, they'll like it. And this is where we talk about content, really thinking about, we talk a lot about the certain channels, the media channels, but think about it more in terms of referral sources.
Yeah.
So what we say is like, your business is going to thrive through referrals. Everybody does. Number one's going to come from people you know. Number two is when you start to get referrals from people within your niche. So I'm starting to get referrals from Ira. Ira's getting them from me. I'm getting them from Allison. I get them from Kurt. They're all in the manufacturing industry. They know me. They trust me. The third referral source would be Google or a trade pub, when you're publishing things like that are out there and people see that and they like it.
Yep.
So when I share stuff that I've written in a trade pub, it's about somebody else, nothing to do with me, but it helped somebody else and people get on there and they like it. I'll see them on LinkedIn, and I will make a connection. And that's a potential referral source right there.
I'm going to share something. I wasn't necessarily planning on doing this because I didn't want to make it about me, but the Global Goodwill Ambassadors, I've been a part of them for 3 years now, part of the group. And they put this up to help me out because I'm a small business owner and they know my story. They're like, hey, Ira, we're willing to put this up for you. I'm like, that's cool. So what I did is I wrote a little article for them to share the idea of, okay, if you are thinking about launching your own business, these are the 3 things I think it takes for you to be successful. And I want you to notice I've got the 3 things right here: skill, grit, and passion. It's not a pile of money. A pile of money is not going to help you. Well, it's not going to hurt you, but you're not necessarily going to succeed just because you have a lot of money, right? But I think you do need skill. I think you do need passion. And then this third one that most people don't understand. What is that? That's a Midwest word. Grit. You gotta have some willingness, almost like to shrug off the negative and to problem solve. That's what I mean by that. And I explain it in the article. But this is an example. This is a backlink, right? See how that it goes from an arrow to a hand? Well, it's not really doing that. But anyways, there's a backlink. They put a backlink from their e-magazine to my website. That alone helps me out. But this is what Greg's talking about here. It's a referral. They're saying if you want social media management, website development, graphic design, photography, videography, or SEO, you can go get those things from Bowman Digital Media. This is what Greg's talking about here, guys. This is on Global Goodwill Ambassadors website. Okay. So it's a real world example of what he's talking about in practice. If you can get folks to do that for you, that's a huge help. And if you have a website, you can do that, as Greg's just talking about. That's one of the things they're doing to help their clients or the people they like. And that's huge. It's a referral. I have Greg on here because I recommend Winbound for content marketing. That's a referral. I'm going to link to his website in a blog, in a video, and in an audio podcast from this show to Winbound to help give him backlinks. There'll be actually more than 3, but there's just 3 examples of backlinks that are going to be help establish why. I didn't even promise Greg all that, but that's what I do. And I'm going to help because I think that he's doing it the right way. And I'm excited. So we're coming short on time. We got about 4 minutes left. So I always do this at the end, Greg. I say, look, we have covered, and we actually have covered quite a bit on this show too. But if there's anything that we've missed or that you like, man, I really was hoping we would talk about that today. We didn't get to it yet. Now's the opportunity to get to that. So it could be the form of a question or the form of a statement. You can have me, if you want me to pull up your website and show us a specific page, or you want me to go back to the digital twin page, I could do that, whatever you want. But for the remaining time, what's
the digital twin, I just want to say a couple things. The digital twin, and there's also subscribe to our blog. You can actually scroll down. You can go to that page, and then you can scroll all the way to the footer of the page, and there's a sign up in the footer for our blog. And that will get you, it comes out monthly, and we only put together tactics that will help your small marketing department. And it's usually 2 posts that are in there. Now, what that will also include is we don't gate any of our special offers. So that digital marketing PDF about the whole strategy, you can get that. We have a content scorecard. We don't gate it. We don't ask for an email address. That is actually on the blog. If you go to the blog, and I believe...
I love this, by the way. I feel like this sometimes.
Yeah. Scroll down.
Hey, there's our buddy. I know that guy.
Yeah, there's Kurt Anderson, and there's one of the, let's see, scroll down just a little bit.
Allison DeFord.
Yep, right. We'll get you up there soon, buddy. Okay, there's content scorecard. You see that
right
post?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the link in the comments here.
So you don't need to sign up for anything. You can just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see there's a downloadable scorecard that you can use, and this post will explain how to use it. There's the
there it is. So click right here to download. I just put this link for everybody in the comments. Okay, it's on all 3. It's on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Great. So there you go. Okay.
So that post will show you how to use it, and you can benchmark. And there's the sign up form. You can benchmark your scorecard.
How you're doing,
and use that to see how you're doing. The other thing is when you sign up for the blog, now we're going to put out a post about how to improve your LinkedIn company page, because obviously ours needs some help. We did a lot of our growth through LinkedIn just through personal LinkedIn pages, but now I'm going to
be a part of that.
And Ira's going to be a part of it, and we've got some experts in there who are going to offer some tips. So sign up for that, and then we will send you that article.
He sent me a message earlier today, and I thought it was about the show, and it was like some homework for me. I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh, no, I got to do something.
Well, I look forward to being a part of it. It really is. It's one of those things. Most of the people I deal with, the companies that I deal with, my clients, they either don't have a LinkedIn business page yet, or they have one, but they don't really have one, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's almost like a placeholder. And sometimes they don't even understand the importance of it. Like if you can go from 30 followers to 300 followers, it has a major impact on your business.
Yeah. And I mean, at the very least, you should set one up, because what happens is, and this is what we're going to show in the post, if somebody follows your personal profiles, usually how they come to it. The first place they're going to go is not to your website, it's to your LinkedIn company page.
Right.
Because they're going to go to your
profile. Most people go to your LinkedIn business page first, almost every time.
Yeah. And so they're going to look at that. So if you look at ours, there's not, like I said, we're just starting to really focus our efforts on it. But what I did was, at the very least, filled in the profile and the about, and then I posted our that digital marketing twin post is right at the top.
Yeah. And I mean, here, if nothing else, if you guys haven't been listening, if nothing else, you just got a free backlink from a domain. I think LinkedIn's domain authority is 97, if I remember right. Right. It's in the 90s anyways. So that's it. That's all. It only goes to 100, folks. It's 0 to 100. So it's one of the strongest DAs that you can get. It's free. And by the way, you could do this on all of them, and you should do this on all of them. YouTube, Facebook, all of them give you an active link, and those are some of the best. So when people say, "Oh, I don't have a Facebook page because I don't use Facebook," I'm like, so you don't have to use Facebook to take advantage of Facebook. If that makes sense.
It's
right?
Referral traffic, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's a free DA. Come on. Give me anytime I can get a free backlink, as long as it's not a spam or pornographic site, I'll take it. I mean, that's just me being real. So I get these notifications from folks all the time. Hey, I'm creating this new social media site. You want to join? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. Sign me up. I might never use it, but I will create a profile, and I'm going to put projecthelpyougrow.com. Look, I have some people saying they need a job. Totally understand. Look, I offer free help to everybody. If you don't know me, my philanthropy is projecthelpyougrow.com. Okay. It's free job search assistance for everybody in the planet. I don't care if you're in Canada, if you're in Ghana, if you're in Dubai, if you're in London, if you're in New York City, even in Madison, Wisconsin. We have jobs from everywhere. But more importantly than jobs, we have blogs and we have videos that teach you how to find a job, how to update your resume, how to prepare for the interview, how to research how much money you should ask for, how to do informational interviews, all that stuff. The things that you guys aren't paying attention to is probably the reason why you're not employed yet, because again, the job search market has changed. So there's no ads on the site. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can't spend money even if you want to. There's nothing. It's free. I pay for it all, so you don't have to spend a penny. Okay? That's Project Help You Grow. So if you need a job, go there. I promise you won't be disappointed. Hang on a second. I'm going to get this comment on. Okay. If you have not fallen in love with Greg yet, I promise you haven't been paying attention, or you didn't quite understand it. Follow this guy. Follow Winbound. And look, I've got the links there on bowmandigitalmedia.com. I have, I'm just going to share the screen again real quick. I have this page. Okay. You can watch any of the previous episodes. If you want to read the transcripts, then all you got to do is come up here to the blog.
Cool.
And in the blog, I take the video and I transcribe it. I don't do it. I have a service that does it for me. But I transcribe the video to audio, and it'll be here too. Okay, so you can actually read all the words, and there's going to be backlinks, Greg, in both. So if you guys are like, what did he say about content marketing? How do we really, how do we do that? You can go in there and read it if you want. So for those who like to read or those who like to watch, check it out. It'll be there. We'll also, a little bit later today, we'll be on Anchor and Spotify. So if you just want to listen to this on your way to the gym, or while you're running on the treadmill, or while you're driving home from work, whatever, you can find us written form, audio only, or video. Okay. Follow Greg. Send him a connection request. Do not spam him. Make sure to put that message in there that I saw you on Ira's show, Marketing Mondays. smash the button for Winbound on LinkedIn, please. We did not hit our goal. Let's see how we did. Greg, I'm sorry I didn't get you what I was hoping to get you yet, but we have some work to do, as you can see. Anyways, if you're watching this after the live is over, please go over to the Winbound page on LinkedIn and hit the follow button. Do me that favor. He's not going to spam you. That's not what he does. He writes really good content. He doesn't just do it for himself. He actually does it for a living for a lot of other people, he and his team. So if you're like good at graphics, but you don't have blogs and an idea of how to create them, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't got to go to school. You don't have to hire somebody to do it for you. You can sub that work out to Winbound Marketing. They'll create a digital twin for you, and they'll help you increase your sales the right way. All right, my friend. Thanks for coming on the show. Any final thoughts before we bounce?
No, I really appreciate you having me on here, and thank you for just, bringing people on your show and helping people move forward.
It's my pleasure. I do this every week. I've never had one that I didn't like. Every single time I do it, I'm like, that was fun. If I could do this all day, every day, I would. The problem is I'd run out of guests. So once a week is the frequency. Yeah. Tune in next time. If you don't have this marked on your calendars, please just set yourself a reminder. I do it every week. It's Mondays. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. You can fill that out for wherever you are. And again, if you ever miss an episode, just go to bowmandigitalmedia.com. Here, let me put that in the banner in case you guys aren't familiar with my site. I don't really advertise my site much on the show, but it's bowmandigitalmedia.com. That's pretty easy, right? Go there, go to the Marketing Mondays tab. That's the videos. If you want the blog version, just go to the blog, and that's the transcripts of the show. Okay, Greg, Winbound. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Ira.
All right, we'll see y'all later. Have a great day, everybody. BowmanDigitalMedia.com.